Hello again, Susan Tan here from Senior Protection. For years, I've been so grateful to live near and be able to visit on a regular basis the beautiful rolling hills of Northumberland County. There's so much to do here for older adults. You've got hiking trails, you've got beautiful parks, lovely beaches, beautiful restaurants and bakeries, theaters, and the opportunity to do what all older adults should do. Get out into nature, learn how to pet animals, take classes in order to reconnect with your inner soul when you are out in nature. And we have the pleasure of meeting one of the best and well-known female entrepreneurs in Northumberland County who's in the 55 and older club. Today, we're going to learn the magic that Debbie Nightingale created by creating the farm Haute Goat. So stand by, you're going to enjoy a wonderful visit in nature.
Hello everyone, welcome to the Screaming Goat Cafe. We support a lot of local vendors, so you will be finding many local items on the shelves. We not only make good food, fresh food, but we also sell a lot of retail where we have goat's milk soaps and skincare products. Lots of fun stuff, great music, great food, and great activities that you can do on the farm. Hope to see you. Bye.
Way back before COVID and all of the lockdowns, one of my favorite places to visit and favorite activities to get involved in and participate in was visiting the Haute Goat farm and signing up for the goat yoga classes. And unfortunately, I'm one of those people who, due to all the lockdowns and due to the fact of a parent having a stroke, I put on a lot of COVID and post-COVID weight. So I thought, what's the best thing for all older adults? Get back out there, get into the action, sign up for your favorite classes again. So ladies and gentlemen, all older adults out there, let's introduce you to the magic of goat yoga.
Goat yoga has officially begun. You are already on your mat or on the ground. Take a big breath. And as you exhale, round your back, if you can. And then inhale, lengthen your spine. Again, breathe, round your back. Exhale, lift and lengthen. Again, big breath, round your back. Exhale. And then very gently, I'm going to get you off
I've always been a country girl at heart. That's why I love goat yoga. I also love knowing that my Senior Protection Medical Alert Watch is ready for any possible emergency anywhere. Debbie, this place has been inspiring me since probably 2016 or earlier. But speaking of inspiration, what inspired you to create Haute Goat?
Really, it wasn't an inspiration that came from me internally. It came externally because at my old farm we had 4 goats. I was lucky enough to be able to find a place in the country after Shane retired. And as soon as we were able to, we got our first 4 goats. And we discovered that we weren't the only ones who found joy and happiness and fun and curiosity and all that stuff with the goats. And people would say, can we come and visit them? So we encouraged that. And then they would bring more people and they would bring more people until several months later, 30 or 40 people would show up at our farm and say, we're here to see the goats. So it dawned on us that we weren't the only ones who were excited about being in the country, fresh air, smelling the fresh air and the quiet. Just sort of getting back in touch with nature was just so beautiful, and so to be able to share that is also a gift. So we're delighted that we can do that.
And it's just for any older adults that are still feeling lonely or disassociated because of COVID and the side effects, this lightens up the soul, enlarges the heart, gives you energy. And I know years back you said that you had a soft spot for goats. What created your passion for goats, especially the breed that you have? Yeah.
So I talk to my goat friends a lot about this. Like, what is it about goats that really captures you? And I think they really look into your soul. Like, they look into your eyes when you meet them and just kind of grab you and don't let go in the best possible way. And so that's the only way I can describe it. I've always loved goats. I never thought I would actually be able to have some. So this is truly incredible for me. I still pinch myself every day that I have all these guys, and started with 4 and we're now at about 60. We're also one of the largest breeders of the Nigerian dwarf goat, which is what we have here. And the reason I got the Nigerians is because my husband, who was not an animal person and who was going to have to look after the animals while I was in the city half the week, they're just easier to handle. They're small and they're easier to handle. But in the end, I think they're the best goats to have, because all goats are great, of course. But these little guys, I think, are the most curious. They're the most easy to handle. And they just have a sense of humor that I don't think lots of other goats have. So they're just delightful.
And speaking of which, we came here a little early, so we were able to experience not just the yoga class, but some other activities that lit up our hearts, lit up our brains, lit up our souls. So what inspired you to start creating all of these great events?
So again, really it happened organically. And the yoga I kind of avoided for a long time because I thought, oh, it's too trendy and kitschy and all that stuff. But I met a yoga teacher and I said, do you want to try a class? And let's see how it goes. And so we did our first class actually on our back patio when we had a big event going on. And the goats were only interested in the grass, but the people were fascinated by the goats. And the class who were in the yoga class laughed and laughed and laughed. And not knowing yoga, I said to the teacher afterwards, oh, I hope you didn't feel disrespected by that. And she said, oh no, the opposite. With yoga, you want to be in the moment, you want to laugh, and that's the best part of yoga. So I thought, wow, if that's the case and we can connect people in a different way with the goats, I'm all for it. And so Kim, who was your teacher, has been with us doing yoga for, I think, 6 or 7 years, almost since the very beginning. Yeah. She knows each of the goats, and I think that she brings an extra layer to it because she can really connect you with individual goats, because they really do all have personalities and all that stuff. And
speaking of personalities, one of the original personalities was at the class today, Butterscotch. Tell us about Butterscotch.
Well, Butterscotch was one of the first 4 goats that I brought home. I brought 4 home in 2009. And she's my last of the 4 originals. So she, for sure, they all have a special place in my heart. We lost the 3rd one not too long ago, so it's still a little bit painful. But she's my wise old goat, and she, will sort of stand back and decide if she wants to go on an experience or not, and we let her make her own decisions, but she's in great shape. And there's just something about her that she's got lots of good stuff cooking in her head. So yeah, she's quite great.
Well, being boomers, can we say that?
I'm probably a little, yes.
I've always found you an inspiration, and you've all of the events, all of the things that you do, whether it's, the pit fire at Christmas time, whether it's entertainers, now you've got stand-up comedians and, marketplaces and everything else. There are other entrepreneurs out there, and I'm going to maybe focus it on other women over age 55. What advice can you give them if they thought, wait a minute, I want to be entrepreneurish as well. I want to do multiple events, multiple tasks. Is there any wisdom or inspiration that you could share?
Oh my goodness, this is so tricky. The most important thing is do what you love. There's no question. If you're passionate about what you do, it's not a chore. And it brings you joy. So for me, when people come and meet the animals and feel the joy that I have, it's truly a gift. And if you're open to it, opportunities present themselves to you. That doesn't mean everything that comes to you should be followed up, but I think that you have to really be open to things that are possible, and maybe things that are unexpected that you didn't think were possible or could happen. For instance, 2 years ago, my son said, what do you think about having a disc golf course on your farm? Disc golf course. What is disc golf? So I went with him to Toronto. I played around a disc golf. I'm not very good, but I thought, wow, are you ever right about that? Because it's such an accessible sport and it takes advantage of the beautiful landscape we have here. I never would have thought about that in a million years.
What is disc golf? I don't know. Sorry.
Disc golf is a very popular sport. It's exactly like ball golf, like typical golf, except that you throw a frisbee. It's a special frisbee. It's weighted differently and all that stuff. And you go around a course. It's quite a large course that we have here. And you have to get it in a basket. It's a chain basket. So you have a driver and a putter and a fairway disc and all that stuff. And so it's pretty cool. And I think it fits exactly in here because it encourages people to walk. It encourages people to enjoy the nature. And even if you don't play disc golf, I often suggest just go for a walk on the course because it's so beautiful. So those are the kinds of things that have kind of presented themselves. The Yomes. We have the Yomes, which we now offer as Airbnb. Yomes are half yurt and half doe. And it was a school that was here. It was an outdoor school. And this was a fellow who said to me, you have such a lovely property. What do you think about having an outdoor school at the farm? And I said, wow, what a great idea to have little kids walking around and, learning about the animals and all that stuff. And so it operated for 2 or 3 years, but of course COVID hit and then they didn't quite make it. So again, we purchased the Yomes from him, and now we're making a go of it with the Yomes. So each thing seems to happen organically. I mean, they came to me. We have 2 glamping domes here. And again, it was somebody who came to me and said, oh, I went on a schmurgle and I see your beautiful property. I think you could have domes here.
That's perfect.
Right?
So would you say the secret to successful entrepreneurship is what you said? Do what you love and then everything lands in your lap?
I think, yes, but you have to be open for it.
Yeah.
You have to look at reasons why you should do something as opposed to reasons why you shouldn't do something. And that doesn't mean you should do everything. I don't mean that at all, because you do have to be mindful, but really assess it, talk to other people, see if they have ideas on what you're planning to do. I absolutely ask people questions all the time. I talk to other business owners, what do you think about that? And how do you approach this? I try to learn constantly, which is one of the things I love about the animals. They're constantly teaching me stuff.
Yeah. Wiser souls.
It's so true. Oh, it's so true. It's so true.
And so what is your absolute favorite thing that you've organized
my
here?
Favorite goat.
No, I would never do that.
Don't ever do that.
Because if you asked me that after today's experience, I'd have a list this long. I mean, guys, if you've never been to Northumberland and if you've never been just a little bit north of Port Hope and you've never heard of Haute Goat and your soul needs repairing, this is the place. So I would never pick one favorite goat.
Yeah.
But what's maybe your one favorite activity?
Favorite activity of mine?
Yeah, or what you find that maybe the local community loves the most? Or...
I think the Schmirgel, I would have to say, is really our signature event or experience, and it kind of encapsulates everything else we do. Everything else kind of flows out of that. So then we started to do the alpaca walks, the goat yoga came after that, and now we have the pigs.
Yes.
So the pigs are our newest animal on the farm. We have
Cute.
2 who are about to have babies. By the time you see this, hopefully they'll have their babies. And we're looking at experiences to do with them too. So the general thing is experiences with animals, no question. That's the heart of what we do. But out of the experiences, I would say the Schmirgel for sure.
Oh. And I think some older adult groups, sometimes they organize tours here.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
We have lots of long-term care. We have lots of group tours who come. And for me, the older folk, the more mature people who come, really seem to appreciate it. I mean, we often get people who were farmers before, or have been on a farm, or their parents had a farm, or had a connection to a farm. But even people who haven't, they're craving connecting with nature. They're craving connecting with animals, and it gives that to them. I hope the farm gives that to them. So that's a really important thing to do, and they recognize that. Like, I think kids connect too, but they can't identify it as that.
Right.
So we love having seniors here. I'm a senior.
Well, technically I qualify for one as well, being a baby boomer and everything else. And I grew up in farm country, even though Dad was a hobby farmer. He had a different source of income, but you know, spend time with the neighbors' horses, help my grandparents on their farm.
Beautiful.
First time I came here, it's like a wave comes over you and you feel like that child again. And then when you hold your first baby goat in your arms,
oh my gosh.
guys, if you've never held a baby goat in your arms, you don't know what you're missing.
It's truly good for your soul. We say that. That's one of our,
it is. And I could go on and on and on and on and on because I love it here. And I finally got, you know, certain family members here for some of the Christmas events. And it was the end of the day. Well, I just thought it was an average farm. I don't know why. Now I understand why you were nagging so much to come here. So on behalf of everyone at Senior Protection, on behalf of all older adults that can physically get themselves to the Northumberland County area and enjoy the Northumberland Hills and nature, thank you for creating Haute Goat.
Oh, thank you so much. Can I hug you?
Yes.
Thank you so much. That's very sweet. Thank you. Oh, that's lovely. Thank you. And you're feeling what we hope people feel.
I feel it all the time. Today, I hope you had a lot of fun. We sure did. Please feel free to leave comments on the bottom, and please join and subscribe and give us suggestions on someone you know or events that you know of that is going to improve the quality of life of older adults in Canada, because that's what we're here for, is to make sure everybody has fun and learns to enjoy life a little bit better and live their independent older adult life. See you at the next episode. Want to come along?